Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us back here at Game Credits channel. Now, we've had a couple interesting members of the team on, but today we are joined by Chris Lovell, the Director of External Affairs. We're going to dive into his background, how he got involved on the team. It's an interesting story. Chris, how are you doing? Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Hey, it's Friday, so I can't complain about that. But yeah, I guess I'll just dive right into my background. So there are, at least in my experience, I talk to a lot of new people. Obviously spending a lot of time in the crypto space, we kind of see a boom of new users that come in anytime we see a bull market and things start to pick up. But my journey actually started a much longer time ago, March of 2013. So this will actually be my 9th year kind of involved in blockchain, learning about it, in the start and then kind of getting involved. But without going too deep into the story, I actually heard about it from a coworker. My career is initially in enterprise IT, so IT management for small to mid-sized businesses, and some larger ones in that case. Really kind of an interesting job, we'll put it that way. You got to touch a little bit of everything. I was something of an IT mercenary. So, it could be one day working on a printer for an hour or two, which, believe me, printers can take an hour or two, no matter what you know about them, to working on a load balanced SQL Server cluster the next day. It didn't matter. It was just random all over the place. But at some point in March 2013, my supervisor actually called me into his office and he's like, "Hey, did you hear about this thing called Bitcoin?" So, without elaborating too much, I spent about an hour arguing with him about why it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to be worth anything. And, in short, that night I was up till sunrise. And by the time the sun was rising, I was mining Bitcoin on my work laptop. So it became an obsession quickly.
Well, here let's look back at that then real quick. At that time, there wasn't a lot of use cases for Bitcoin. A lot of the ones people associated with it were not the best legally, so it acquired somewhat of a negative reputation. But it wasn't really due to it, right? There was many use cases coming online at the time. It's just that not a lot of people had been exposed to it. And you're correct in that a lot of people's knee-jerk reaction was, oh, people can just make as much as this as they want, or this or that, or it doesn't really count for anything. So it was a long time coming for people to slowly come on. And you're right. And it was largely around bull runs. You saw massive influxes of people come on board and then get into it semi-permanently, a solid base of like fans. So for you, it was a quick turnaround time, 24 hours from going from this is dumb to I'm going to invest a lot of my time into it. It's pretty quick. So, and then like, tell me the story of how you were like, okay, well, now I want to be more than a miner, more than just a enthusiast. I want to get involved with a company. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll just elaborate on the mining point real quick before we jump to that. It's exactly that. And I think I don't want to speak to it too much right now, but I think it takes a certain type of personality to want to jump into this stuff. I mean, obviously there's risk involved, but I guess breaking off the mining, really the transition from wanting to just be a miner to actually getting involved in this space. Obviously, I came in as a miner. I was much younger. That was 9 years ago at this time. So you kind of mature and grow up over time. But I will say, admittedly, I initially came in with that kind of angle of greed. I was floored. I could have a computer solving equations for me, doing work when I'm sleeping, when I'm taking a shower. If I'm at my day job, these computers are making money for me. And that really excited me. But, as you get older and wiser, you spend more time in this space. You see, it's not all about the money. The end game is not cashing out your coins. It's about making real change, real utility for people and actually creating some sort of paradigm shift in the world. And I don't want to go too deeply philosophical, but there's still a lot of people that don't really believe in the power of blockchain, what some of these utilities can do. And you think, well, it's been 10 years, or more than 10 years now. What's blockchain really changed other than making a bunch of internet people rich? Well, it is slowly changing things. And I don't know. I just like to, I'm a pretty meta kind of guy, not in the case of the company, but I like to think of those deeper aspects around things.
I'm someone that I've never cashed out my crypto back into any sort of fiat currency personally. Like, yeah, I did trades, but more so for fun than anything, as I find new projects that I find interesting. But I've never converted back to US dollars, and I really have no plans to because of the continuous growing utilities and adoption of all these currencies right now. Right, I still am of the mindset we're pretty early. We're still pretty early in a lot of different ways, and so I guess where we're sitting now. So now you went from mining and you're looking at it, you said you're maturing over time. How did the business side of it kick in? How did the entrepreneurial aspect really start?
So really, I mean, this is something I tell a lot of people, and I know a lot of people personally, obviously spend a ton of time in the crypto space, but we all have people in our personal lives who could be called no coiners, I guess you could say. But there's a lot of people that express interest in getting involved in blockchain. And then, when the time comes to kind of take the leap, or if they have a teacher, such as myself, I'm willing to spend a lot of time with people. They don't really have the bite, like they don't want to get down to business, actually spend the time learning things. So I think it really kicked off from, obviously I was mining. I had a lot of miners at the time. It really turned into something like, I want to be involved more. I want to make this my career. I don't want to work in IT. I want to work on something that can change the world. So a
Mm.
lot of it was really how people came into the space. They come in, they look around. Obviously now the space is so saturated. There's thousands and thousands of crypto markets or crypto chains out there. Um, I found ones that I saw a lot of utility in, smaller cap projects with real working teams of human beings. And I said, you know what, they're building something really cool, or this is a tool that I can see. So I actually reached out to one of those projects furiously. It took me a couple tries. But I reached out, kind of explained my background in IT, that I had been mining, that I was, 100% obsessed with the space. I was up late every night reading about it. And after I'd say 2 to 3 determined emails, I actually got a reply and said, hey, you know what? We have something that you can do. And I started working for a crypto company at that point. Now that was part-time for many years. But with the transition, it's been a journey. I will say, I don't want to, I guess we don't want to name specific projects on the interview, but I've worked with quite a few, maybe 4 to 5 different projects over the years before finally, settling in with a really, really great team at Game Credits.
You brought up a really good point earlier when you said a real team of real people, and that's getting better over the course of the years. It definitely is, but there's still a lot of like fully anonymous projects or teams where it's like you don't know what their intentions are and so on. So it is important to find people that you have a connection to and build integrity with. And also in that same vein, crypto is one of the few places where you can go in and be like, hey guys, listen, I'm down to do this. I'm down to get interested. What can I do? And you can find a spot, right? So it's really interesting. It's really community driven, but it does take a lot of personal due diligence to land on the right teams. And now that you're on Game Credits, tell me how that story came to be. How did you wind up being on the Game Credits team?
So yeah, I mean, it kind of ties back into what I was saying before, working with a few other teams and projects at times. I actually met, our CEO, Jason, through doing some side work on some other different projects. And it just kind of naturally evolved from there. He saw a really great opportunity in the Nova token platform. It's a very important part of our history. We won't dig too deep into it on here, but really the Nova token platform merging with Game Credits and becoming one entity under the Game Credits banner. It was just a great opportunity. So we actually started with a much smaller team, and I was brought in because of that. And like I said, I think from the time the Nova token project was revived to now, we are over 3 years in at this point. So
As the director of external affairs, like again, demystify that for people. What do you actually handle then?
right. So it again, this goes back to the whole experience thing. And I don't like to put a lot into titles. Obviously my title does describe some of what I do, but um, particularly as we build out towards gameplay for Genesis Worlds, that title is going to change a little bit. But really, as the director of external affairs, I'm a little bit of everything. I guess you could say I'm the jack of all trades on the team. It comes with a mix of doing various things, obviously having that IT experience, but really one of the things I'm responsible for, or some of those things, are like supporting documentation. I make sure that's in order. People know exactly what they're doing, making sure we are properly displayed on different listing sites, deal a little bit with partner relationship management and really the onboarding of people to the platform. And that's something that's I expect to grow as Genesis World's gameplay is made available. Be one of the liaisons, bringing in partners, working with entities, organizations, or even just groups of people like communities to get set up in the space. But it's really a whole mix of things. Obviously, we do a little bit of speaking. I do spend time on the Twitter Spaces. We usually host those weekly. I am one of the hosts. And at the same time, we have a gaming with game session on Tuesdays. We do stream on Twitch once a week for about an hour. That's something that's going to grow up a lot as we have metaverse gameplay available. We'll be spending a ton of time in there on Twitch, showing people cool things to do, tips, tricks, and just helping people out if they're stuck. So
Oh, wonderful.
describing my role, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, fair enough. Especially earlier on in companies, it's really all about handling what needs to be handled. And really, when you look at the team, what you just want to see is a bunch of people who are flexible and have critical thinking skills, and they're bringing something to the table, which it seems like you do really well. And I guess so. What's been your favorite part about working at Game Credit so far? What do you think's been the most interesting?
I mean, I think it's just really seeing it grow up, like you said, and again, getting thrown into certain things. As you were just mentioning, the startups, if you work at a startup, you're going to wear many hats. There is no, speaking to the job role, there's not a really linear, narrow job role. You're always going to have to jump in and do something or help out when you can. That might even be weird hours. And to be honest with you, I love working those weird hours, but
Yeah. Oh, and crypto
just
for
seeing,
sure,
yeah,
24/7. So it's
any
whatever.
time of night. But really, like I said, seeing the company actually grow up, we're formalized. I mean, we're a legitimate company. We're not people hiding behind avatars. Our names are out there. We're incorporated. We have, legal entity around the business. And then other than the growing up part, really, I'll tell you what I enjoy the most. I enjoy the chaos of releases. When we release new mining claims or we're kind of pushing towards things, I love that rush of new people coming in, helping people out, explaining things to them, and just making friends that way, really.
Yeah.
I guess you could say it's I enjoy performing under pressure. I like when the fire's put on. So
Oh yeah, you're right. As you had said at the beginning, the crypto industry attracts a certain kind of person in general, right? It's fun, it's cutting edge. There's a lot to it. There's some chaos involved, but overall, also just the community in general, having other people that bounce off ideas. Everyone's kind of on this same idea of what they want from it, and I think you did a great job so far of walking through how you got involved, why you got involved. Is there anything else that you think people should know about you? Anything else you want to add?
I guess we could just add in the fact that, we were talking about having real people on a team, and obviously doing your own research before you get involved in a project is incredibly important. Even if you see a real face, that doesn't mean something's not a scam. There are plenty of examples of that out there. But, as for me, like I said, I do the streaming. I'm happy to talk to anyone anytime. If you have projects or if people have questions about the project, anything, hop in our Discord. We're all open books. I'll even play games with people if that's what they'd like.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Let's spend some time together. I'll get to learn what you are interested in, and really feedback too. We enjoy that. I enjoy that personally. When people give constructive criticism, we're totally happy to listen to that. We are not a stonewall type of team, but
Yeah, perfect. Everyone, please submit questions. We'll happily dive into them for you. But Chris, I think you did a great job. Love to have you back on again soon and talk about future updates. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, send your questions over Discord, YouTube, Twitch, whatever works best for you, and the team will get back to you for sure. But for now, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.
absolutely. Thank you, Michael.